Before we start, I would like to ask your help to do two things. First, tell a friend or two who you think might like the show. And second, please rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. The more reviews the show gets, the more likely it will even appear in search results. Thank you, and now on to the show. Just a quick program note. Jen, the burner nurse, does not work for the Burning Man organization. All opinions expressed are her own and do not represent the views of the organization.
They make the trek out to Burning Man for a week and a day. After a lot of work, oh, there's a lot of play. Party, 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 drama, 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 bitch, bitch, bitch. Year after year, they come back to scratch that itch. They all say their lives have been changed. After many years, lives have been rearranged. That change is what this show is all about. You'll see the impact of Burning Man up and out. So sit back, relax, and cancel all your plans. These are the stories about the shadow of the man.
Hello, and welcome to the Shadow of the Man Show. I'm your host, Andy, a TV doctor. Now that Andy. Today, our guest is Burner Nurse. Welcome.
Oh, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah. So when did you first hear about Burning Man, and how did you hear about Burning Man? Like, what kind of got you into it?
Well, I mean, how I first heard about Burning, oh my gosh. Well,
Yeah.
I'm from NorCal, so everybody's been
Okay.
talking about Burning Man for a long time.
Yeah.
But I was a late bloomer. I didn't come until later in life, just
Hmm.
because of the way what, you know, the way things were, my life was at the time. But yeah, I've been hearing about it for a long time. But it was always the more, I guess, negative aspects of it. It wasn't the
Sensational.
positive, direct from
Yeah.
the burner mouth type
Uh,
of information. It was always about this, this, as they say, this drug-induced
so like
festival out in the
media
desert.
influence kind of thing, like,
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
But once I actually really got to know some burners, then I realized that this was something that I really wanted to try out because I love this type of community aspect, the feel. Once I, had friends who go out there and the different ways that they volunteer and give back and the art and the music, I just knew I needed to experience it for myself and not listen to everybody else.
Well, also you're a medical professional. I'm sure you're
Mhm.
working, and I think I don't know if you look back through the census and stuff like over all the years. I think like the majority of people in any particular year is kind of like in their 20s and 30s. I mean, I think it's been trending a little older as years have gone by, but I don't know. It's kind of a standard trope for many decades now. I think a lot of people go to Burning Man. They're like, oh, they're in their 20s, they're having a good time, and I know for me, I was in my 20s, but like I was working professionally, and I was like, I mean, at first it was like you can only go just for like a long weekend, and then even getting like a week off, it'd be like, oh, that's kind of hard. And then now, I hear all these people like, oh yeah, I go up for like 2 weeks, or I go up for a couple of months, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
how do you do that? Do you not have a job? It's a lot. I guess a lot of people don't, or they're kind of itinerant, kind of like workers or things.
Yeah, or they're, self-employed, something where they can actually take the time off. I have to put in a year in advance to be able to take the time off. And, I give myself a cushion on either side.
Is it
Uh,
competitive where you work? Or the other people who are like, wait, no,
oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to Burning Man. Like,
Oh yeah, nurses, you have to have a certain amount of nurses on staff each day, and so you can only have two off at a time, and or a day, I should say, a day. And so yeah, by putting that in, I would definitely have to secure my spot, otherwise I won't be able to go,
and there's like
and then I'll
seniority
pout.
rules.
No, it isn't. It's more of a first come, first serve type of deal.
Oh,
Seniority
okay.
has to do with the holidays.
What? That's not an official holiday
I was
in
gonna say this is my holiday.
this is Northern California.
Yeah, I'll work Christmas. It's all good. Let me off for Burning Man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. So, what was your first year?
My first year, was it 2017,
Oh,
2018? Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I got started late. I got started late. But I'm the type of person who really throws myself into everything. Kind of like you, where I'd go around and not officially interviewing people, but I wanted to know everything there was to know. I am a over researcher, I guess. And then
mm-hmm.
also working medical, you definitely get to see a different side of Burning Man there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we'll get into all that. Um, did you like when you first went, did you just go dive right into that, or were you just kind of like, well, I'm gonna go with some how did you go? Like, I mean, did you immediately
Uh,
volunteer or like you just
I
take
did. Yeah,
oh.
so I had so I was working at a hospital in downtown LA, and one of the uh fourth year medical students there, she would do work Burning Man as an EMT. So she was working as an EMT while she was still in medical school. And now, of course, she's an ER attending, and she has come back out to Burning Man to work as a doctor at Burning Man, which is amazing.
Wow.
So it was her influence to say, "Hey, why don't you come out and do this? I think you'd really love," because I worked in TV and film, and I've done other events as a medical person, working there, and I've
Oh,
always
okay.
enjoyed it because I like socializing and talking to people, and it's a really good experience. And um, so she said, "I think that you would really like being out there, and you just have to forget what everything else that you've ever heard." And so I went with her and had the best time. It was very quick burn. My first burn was a very quick burn because I feel like I just did a lot of working, and I
Well,
didn't
how long were you
have
there?
I think it was only for like 5 days, and I worked three of those. So yeah, yeah. So so I just fell in love with the medical side of it, the ESD, and I was like, okay, from now on, if I'm coming back here, this is exactly what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think there's like different kinds of people who go into healthcare and medicine. Um, like you definitely, it's definitely it's like it's one of those careers where it's like you actually like interacting with people. You know,
Hmm.
I think there's some people in medicine who don't like interacting with people, and they're kind of more like the back end. Like I work in a pathology department, so we're just like,
I
yeah,
was gonna
like
say
we don't like the
pathology.
live people. It's like more like the dead
Yeah.
bits of them. You know,
Hmm.
people come and like I have a complaint or a question or a problem. We're like, talk to somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
But I think pathology is so cool because you're actually like solving a puzzle. You get to
yeah,
look at everything in this
yeah.
on the slides,
Well,
and it's amazing.
I think like one of the main things about healthcare is like like you're helping people, you know. Because another
Hmm.
thing, like I'm always so amazed by like emergency departments or like emergency nurses, doctors, paramedics, and I'm always like, that is such a rough job, you know, because like every single person you're seeing is like having like the worst day of their life, you know. And I'm just like, wow, because I know the emergency department, like they're always like rotating these people, like never kind of coming and going, and but then like the other thing, half of it, I talked to people there, they were like, yeah, everyone's like having basically the worst day of their life, but
Hmm.
you get to help make it better. And
Hmm.
I was like, oh, yeah. It's like, okay,
Hmm.
that makes sense. It must keep you coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a trauma background. The
Hmm.
hospital I'm working at right now is not trauma, but everything else that I've done in my career, and I started out as an EMT,
Hmm.
so it has been trauma related. And you're right, it is their worst day. It
Hmm.
is their worst day, and we're working fast and trying to do everything that we can to save this person. And
Hmm.
it's very when we can. Um, I'm trying to figure out how to say it. because I want to say it without it sound. No, it's sort of like, it's so rewarding that when we actually can, but that's,
Mm-hmm.
see what I mean? If you could like just cut that, because
No,
I can't figure out
no,
how to
no.
respond to that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean it is reward. I mean, an endorphin rush or whatever is like when you get to help somebody. It's like of being like an assistance. Just, I mean, I think that's pretty normal
I
human
think
kind of experience.
Absolutely. Being able to help somebody and working together as a team, because it isn't a
Yeah.
solo sport, it's a team
Mm-hmm.
sport. And that's also something that you see out at Burning Man. You see a lot of community. And, in the hospital setting, I rely so much on my teammates because
Mm-hmm.
I can't do everything. The doctor can't do everything by themselves. We are all working together. It's
Mm-hmm.
very the synchronicity of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that happen with the teams as well at ESD. Like we have had some years where we have just been slammed,
Mm-hmm.
and I you don't have people out there that are slackers. You don't. They actually will. Who is next? I'm next. I will take the next patient. I will do this one. I will take this, drop this patient off. I'm coming back. I'm doing the next one.
Yeah.
And they just it's wonderful. And it is um doctors, nurses, PAs, everyone working together.
Mm-hmm. Well, also going back to another thing you said, you were like, "Oh, my hospital, it's not like a trauma hospital, but like pretty much wouldn't like any hospital other than just like a little walk-in clinic, for people like, like, oh, I have influenza, whatever. Like, yeah, take some pills. It's like pretty much any emergency department, like you're dealing with some degree of trauma. And then if you think about it, it's like, well, we have this pop-up medical facility and it's in the middle of the desert. And it's like, oh, you mustn't really have very many patients.
Hmm.
But I'm sure it's like Burning Man. It's like probably some of the most interesting cases you come across. You're just like, I wouldn't see this like in LA, right? Like,
Oh, I think too, because you have so many patients coming from or participants patients, they're coming
mm-hmm.
from all over the world. So sometimes they forget their medication. They forget,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
yeah, there are things that people forget. And
Or
if that
lose their
is one
bag or
thing,
something. Yeah,
lose
yeah.
their bag, just things happen along the way when you travel. We've all traveled.
Oh.
And yeah, and they do come in. We have some people who come in who are incredibly healthy and some that have some sort of ailment, but it was their lifelong dream to come out to Burning Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think it's wonderful that they're doing that. They just need to make sure that you have everything that you need for the week. So say that you're diabetic. You
Mm-hmm.
can't show up without your insulin if that's what you're actually taking in the default world. So
Yeah. It has to
yeah,
be like
or
refrigerated and stuff, right? Like,
right. Even
yeah.
to like if you have high blood pressure and you're on a cardiac medication, you need to make sure that you come in with that cardiac medication because it's not necessarily that we'll have it
Mm-hmm.
stocked in our little pharmacy.
Wow.
So yeah, so then they have to leave and go off playa nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to leave and come back, stay in,
Yeah.
but get in that line again because you don't have your medication or whatever it is that you actually need.
Yeah. Is it true? Like, I don't know. I just heard this. I don't know if it's a myth, but what do they call it? It was like 3 bags to Reno. Like if you're dehydrated and you go in and they give you like an IV drip, and then they're like, well, if you're the dehydration doesn't resolve in 3 bags, that means you got to go to Reno.
It would depend on what else is happening with the patient. I mean,
Hmm.
is there a reason? They're not just going to send someone to Reno. They're not going to transport a well patient. Let me say that. If you are a walkie-talkie well patient, you are not going to be transported off the playa. If you are in some sort of acute distress or some issue that Rampart cannot take care of, then they will
Hmm.
have to transport you for better medical care or more intensive medical care off the playa.
Do they have just individual ambulances, or do they have like those like bus ambulances who are like, oh, we could take like 12 people at a
No,
time? Like,
no, no. But there is air. There's you can be airlifted out. You can go on the rig, and that is all contracted through whoever is staffing Rampart.
I
And this
imagine
year,
like ambulances leaving Black Rock City going to Reno is probably not that common, like in any particular day. I mean, it's not like, oh yeah, we got like four going out every hour, you know. Like,
no, no, because Rampart is really, really well staffed. Those are the
yeah.
paid medical people, and they have the background in emergency medicine or whatever it is. Like there's actual paid pharmacists on staff. There
Hmm.
are uh people, X-ray techs
Wow.
who can run. There is an X-ray machine in
You
there.
guys have
So
imaging out there? Really?
yes, 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 we
How
do.
does it like, oh, I'll get a
So
couple of ultrasound machines, whatever, like,
yeah, they have that too.
yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah,
easy. Those are like portable little things,
sure.
but they have like X-ray machines. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, probably not doing like CAT scan or MRI or anything. I don't know. Like,
Can
what
you
do you guys
imagine?
have?
And the MRI, everybody has to be clear, remove all of your metal. Yeah, that's do you have any piercings? No, that's not gonna happen.
You would have to have like a perimeter fence around it and all these signs like no metallic objects past this point, and then you get
They
like
couldn't even
idiot.
have the perimeter fence.
Yeah, even the
So
idiot burner's like, haha, let me try this out. You know, it's
yeah.
like while all the piercings getting ripped out of their skin, like,
Oh
ah.
Lord.
So, okay, the other thing was like if you are transported to Reno, right? Like, say that you wander out in the playa and you're done whatever and like and you collapse and you passed out and somebody finds you and then you're transported to Reno, but like you have nothing, like you have no
Yes.
ID, you have no credit card, you don't have your ticket,
Mhm.
like how do you? I always wondered like how do you get back to Burning Man?
That part I don't know. I mean, I just hope that the patient's okay and stable. And we did have a patient last year who was transported off. And the only reason I know about this patient is because the friend group came in
Mm.
to Station 6 and and they were very irate that their friend was transported off the playa and they were insistent that we needed to go pick them back up and bring them back.
Oh, it's a taxi
And
service.
it was very I just was blown away by that because I I don't know where they thought that that was appropriate. Well, first
Hmm.
the reason I would say this first they were yelling at my 20 nothing year old greeter. Why are you, don't yell at my greeter. So I went over there to talk to them and explain to them the options that they had. They could go, this was the thing
Like
that
you
got me.
can
I
go
even made a
get
video
them. Like,
about this.
yeah.
You can go get them. No, they didn't want to do that. Okay, you can try to organize the burner bus to bring them back if they're stable, which if they've been released from a hospital, they might be. They were like, okay, maybe. Well, get into the Facebook groups and see if you can organize a ride with someone else because burners are willing, if they have an open seat, you don't have any baggage, they'll give you that seat. You'd probably just have to pay for some gas and chip in for some gas, and you can have some good conversation, meet a new friend along the way.
Yeah, but that
They're
takes
like, yeah,
effort. Yeah.
yeah. I
So
wasn't
they're
happy
upset that
with
you're
those
not
folks.
like going to get their friend, and if at the
Yeah.
same time they're unwilling to really do much of anything about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. That woman, she pointed her finger in my face and was like, "You took our friend off. You need to go get them." I was like, I had to take a breath. I was like, "Wait a minute. We're not going to do that today." So,
Yeah. Well, it's not like you like shipped them off to like Guantanamo or something. You're just like, I didn't like the look of their jib,
I know. Well,
like,
that's what I'm saying. There was something wrong with your friend that they needed to be transported off the playa. There was something that was
and it would
happening
have to be serious enough,
medically.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. There had to be something happening medically to your friend that they were not allowed that or that they could not take care of it at Rampart, that they needed more acute medical care. I don't know what it is. I have no idea who this patient was, I knew nothing about them
Hmm.
until this person came up and started yelling at us. So, and they were with a group of probably like 5 or 6 people. Why are you creating this? First of all, just come in and ask. Don't come. Yeah, it was just very inappropriate.
Did they have like protest signs, but like, bring Karen back, bring
No,
Karen back?
it just felt like it was just like, people react. You never know how someone's going to react in a stressful
Well,
situation. And
yeah.
Were you there last year? Were you at Burning Man
25? Yeah,
last
yeah,
year?
yeah. I was there last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So you know what it was like with the weather. I mean, weren't actually able to get out and enjoy the playa until like Wednesday evening,
Yeah,
up to that
yeah.
point. So I
But
think
then at
people
that
were,
point, it was like magic. But yeah, yeah.
oh, it was beautiful. It
Oh,
was so
yeah.
beautiful out. But people react, that change in weather, and the ups and downs
Hmm.
it affected people's mental health. And so I saw a lot more of those cases last year.
Ah, all right. Yeah, but because being transported to Reno, I mean, I imagine like Rampart is. It sounds like it's fairly advanced. I mean, it sounds like you'd
Yes.
be able to take care of just about anything. So being transported, it must be like, oh, this must be really serious. Or you need like a bit more facilities than we can provide here, right? Like,
That's exactly what it is. So
yeah.
there is some sort of medical issue with the patient, and that's the reason why they had to be transported off. They're not going to, Rampart will not transport a patient if they are stable, walkie-talkie,
Hmm.
healthy, ready to go. We have more treat and releases than they do transports out.
Yeah.
Um,
I just don't
so
understand how someone wouldn't understand that. We're just like, yeah, I didn't like this person, so I transported them to Reno because they were being an asshole. It's like, no, that's not
yeah,
how it
no.
works.
No.
Like,
And the nice thing is that the other thing that Rampart will do is if you were a patient of theirs, right? So you had to come through, be a patient, be seen, say that they said you need XYZ medication that we don't have here, or
mm-hmm.
you
Oh.
didn't bring your medication with you and you have to go to Reno. What they will do is give you one of those passes so that you can bypass the big line.
Oh.
So it's wonderful. It's really really nice. You can't just go in there, for anybody who's going to hear this. You can't just go in there and say, "Hey, I need to run out and get more, I don't know, popsicles or something, and I need a pass." That's not going to work. It has to be an absolute. There's a reason why, and they know the reason why. Maybe they had to call your uh, prescription in
Mm-hmm.
to the pharmacy out in Reno. Maybe that's the reason why, and then you have to go pick it up. So, and then they will give you that pass for that reason.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, it would be pretty stupid if someone would just be like, I have this great idea. I can get in and out. I'm just going to leave behind my critical medication. Like, I'm going to get really sick. Don't worry about that. But, I'm going to be able to get in and out.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, I
really?
mean, you have
Toy with
people
your
too.
health care? Like,
You have people who say that too. They're like, "Oh, I drank too much last night. I'll just go over to medical and get an IV." And that it's not the way that works. You have to. We follow a strict protocol with that.
mm-hmm.
And so, if the patient doesn't meet that protocol, then you're not going to get an IV.
I don't know. I'm starting to see a pattern here. It's like you guys are like leaving money on the table. It's like you could have like these optional like plans for burners where it's like, hey, it's like for an extra like $50 on your ticket, you can get like, the the morning after the IV thing, or
Oh,
like,
Lord.
or for like $100, it's like you'll have our like transportation back from Reno insurance plan.
Oh, Lord. I'll let you bring that up to the org.
They're like, no, no, we believe in personal
No.
responsibility. That we don't care about making more money. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So another thing, for all the years I've been going to Burning Man, I just get this sense that as soon as people get off the blacktop and go on the gravel and like you come through the gates, something happens where it's just like the top of their head comes off and they take their brain out and they put it on the side to be like, I'm getting that later. And it just seems like just across the spectrum because I'm just like, why would you do that? He's like, huh? What? I'm at Birdie Man. It's like, I mean, you just must encounter this all the time, which is like, what were you thinking? It's like, oh,
Um,
yeah, I left my brain at the gate. Yeah.
I think that well, I mean, we do joke about safety third, right? Safety third is a
Mm-hmm.
big joke.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there is something um about Burning Man itself. It's a very magical, wonderful place that can be very overwhelming to some. And, most of us are, you were talking about the age groups now, right? So now
Mm-hmm.
it's skewing older. And there is something. I mean, I hit the playa and all of a sudden I feel like I can do everything. My brain goes, "Oh, you're in your 20s again." And my body goes, "No, you're not."
Yeah.
No,
Maybe it's a time of day
no.
dependent. It's like when you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I guess I'm not that young anymore. Like,
Yeah, so I'm not, me personally, I am not ready to start climbing things the way I used to. Oh my God, 2018 burn, I climbed to the top of the crow's nest in the car
um,
kebab.
oh, really?
Yeah,
I
sliced
didn't
my
go there. I
hand
heard about that.
open. Oh, you did
Yeah.
it? Oh God, yeah. I
Yeah.
sliced my hand open, ended up at medical, got a tetanus shot. So yeah, I need to not do that sort of thing anymore. So
Yeah.
in that respect, I can see it. And I was, I'm sober, so it's climbing that
Hmm.
without any influence. I think well, yeah.
Well, also it's interesting to bring up the sobriety, like that, because I know just at least in my personal experience of like going to Burning Man, like I definitely had a transit with me and my brother, we're like our co-conspirators and everything we've done, like,
Hmm.
and we for the longest time ran a theme camper we call the Cult of Distraction, and so we
Uh-huh.
had this bar, and it was this beautiful bar, and we would just get like drunk like every day. It'd be like all night.
Hmm.
And then like as the years went by, it's like, he kind of discovered he was an alcoholic and we were like, oh, yeah, we can't do that anymore. So
Yeah.
we kind of had to reinvent ourselves as like an alcohol-free bar because we were like, we really loved like the interaction and everything, but
Hmm.
it's like, we can't have the same thing, but just without the alcohol. And then getting a good night's sleep, that was been like my latest innovation the past couple of years. Like actually it took 13 years off of going to Burning Man, like, and I came back
Hmm.
in 24, and yeah, I just remember it being like I can go to bed at a reasonable time, like maybe like 11 or 12 or something,
Hmm.
and then get a good night's sleep and then wake up in the morning and feel absolutely incredible. People are like, wow, what drugs are you taking? It's like, it's this new great drug, it's called going to sleep at night. And they're all just like, how does that work? I'm just like, well, like,
Yeah.
don't get too fucked up, and then get some sleep and have a good place
Yeah.
to sleep. And they're like, I gotta try that. But definitely, as I've noticed, people's kind of skewing older, or like older returning burners, kind of like
Hmm.
realizing this. It's like, oh, it's like I don't have to like get as high or drunk, and it's like, oh, and I can get rest, and I wake up in the morning. It's like,
Hmm.
and it's like a whole new world.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sleep is definitely a priority out there,
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
I also notice that too, being older, that I also, I have my friends out there and there will be at any time when we'll just look at each other and want to be like, you know what, I'm gonna leave. And they're like, cool, have at it. You know,
yeah,
maybe I want to ride around the playa by myself, deep playa. Maybe I want
yeah,
to go back and take a nap. And that I think that would be a really important thing for people going out there is to make sure that you have a really solid friend group and people that understand that you don't have to be with them 24/7.
yeah,
And, I think that you'll get over the FOMO of missing out is okay sometimes because sometimes maybe your solo journey took you onto something else that was even better and it was something that
yeah.
you needed, something for you.
Or I think that if that's maybe some people misunderstand, or like, but yeah, that like this is it. Going to Black Rock City is like it's your adventure. I mean, maybe
Hmm.
you see stuff on Instagram or YouTube, or like you're seeing like, oh, this is what people wear, this is what people do, this is how you
Hmm.
do it, and it's just like, well, no, those are examples of things that other people have done. But it's like you
Yeah.
can do things however you would like.
Yeah.
And also like you're saying, like I had friends, it's like, be like the nighttime after dinner, everyone's getting ready, like, oh, we're getting ready, we're gonna go out, and like, oh, okay, and then they would start taking drugs or whatever, and I would just be like, oh, you go ahead. It's like it's okay to be like to say no, and just be like, you can even hang out with them. It's
Yeah.
like, well, you go have your fun, I'm gonna do my thing.
Hmm.
you know yeah. All right. Well, I did have, let's see, couple of like weird medical things. Like,
Oh
well, okay,
no.
I had this like one friend one year. He went to Rampart. He was like, I got this burn under my arm, like in my
Hmm.
armpit. And they were like, burn in your armpit? And he's like, yeah, yeah. And then they're looking at it and they're like, that's frostbite. And they're like, how'd you get frostbite in your underarm in the desert? And he's like, well, they're like, oh yeah, that's right. I do have these bagpipes that I kind of rigged that's like flaming bagpipes, and the hose, the tube goes under my arm, and they're like, ah, okay.
Burning Man. That is a Burning Man injury. That is the quintessential Burning Man injury right there.
Yeah, because I mean, you wouldn't
Yeah.
see that like downtown LA or wherever it'd be, I mean, you must see some like really just odd things. You're just like, how the hell did this happen?
Yeah, I don't I mean I can't say too much without, I would
Yeah,
never
yeah, yeah.
reveal anything about certain patients, but
Mm-hmm.
and then there are so many random things that you're just like, what in the world? But everybody we don't I also, because of working trauma and all the things that I've ever seen, and you just kind of take it and then you move on to the next one. It isn't
Mm-hmm.
we don't usually dwell on anything. But that's a good one. I'm sure he actually, if the patient is someone like your friend and they're
Mm-hmm.
actually laughing about it until still telling that story,
Oh
then
yeah.
that's totally different than
I think the
I just
gist of it was just like, ha ha, like Rampart's never seen this type of injury before.
oh yeah. But then again, you never know.
Yeah,
You never know.
yeah, yeah. And I'm also just amazed with the high winds like this year, like the what was it, Saturday or something, like a lot of camps were destroyed. And just I mean that was actually right before I got there, but and just like the high winds and just seeing these videos, and I'm just amazed at like, well, a couple of things I'm amazed at pretty well. The one, it's like no one was like, it just got like impaled by some like flying thing, like some like flying
Oh,
umbrella or like,
people were injured. People did get injured during that.
oh yeah, I bet.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they did get injured. And it's um, I'm glad that, at least medical folks were out there,
Mm-hmm.
because it starts out as a skeleton crew, right? For
Mm-hmm.
pre-burn, anytime pre-burn. And then once gate day, once Sunday hits, then it's fully staffed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, people get injured out there every day,
Yeah.
every day. And it
And
just
then
depends on the severity of where they're at.
yeah. And then I don't know, for many years, and it's funny because now I think they actually have done something like this, but for a number of years I was always joking around on Playa. It's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do Playa OSHA, and we're gonna have these like orange vests, and we're gonna go around and we're gonna like slap these like fluorescent stickers. We just like violation, like OSHA violation. We're gonna go to DMV and plaster it on their windshields. And then like DMV friends were like, if you have a death wish, then go ahead and do that. But
Yeah.
like, do not do that. Like
Yeah.
you will be killed. Like, but then talking to Coyote, he was like, actually, that kind of is my job now. And I was like, oh, like, I mean, there's always kind of an eye for safety, right?
Oh
But
yeah.
there's just so many, just not in terms of like or the organization, but just like the participants. So like, like they're janky
Oh
structures,
yeah.
like maybe not so much like the art cars, but just the structures and the things that people make, and they're like making this giant dome out of PVC, and you're like, it's not a great material to build with, like yeah, yeah. So I mean, I guess they're. I don't know. I'm just wondering if, like, over the years, it's just like maybe like engineering standards have gotten better, or maybe there's like less injuries from like structure collapses and stuff, where that's just kind of a constant.
I I couldn't tell you that part. I don't know, since
Yeah.
I'm not on that build side. I don't know. I just see what comes through our door.
Do you guys like? I mean, have like trends over the years? It's just like in the last 10 years, these types of injuries have spiked. Where there's these ones kind of have like the whole like people would like, oh, they'd hit their foot like on rebar or something, and then like now people use like the lag bolts. just I wonder, it's like, oh,
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Well, yeah, because when I first started going out there, it was all rebar,
yeah.
right? And so people would trip over the rebar all the time, and they would say, "Okay, put tennis balls on top of the rebar," but then people kick the tennis balls off, or you'd
Mm-hmm.
cut up a pool noodle, put
Mm-hmm.
that over it, and people are still not seeing
Or
things because,
cans or
it's
something.
dark
Yeah.
out. I even tried putting out this is a long time ago. I tried putting out the solar lights around the outside. And at
Mm-hmm.
that time, they didn't work well because as soon as the dust comes and it covers the top of the light, and then you don't have a solar light anymore, right? It's not
Yeah.
absorbing any of the sun. I'm sure they're better now than they were 10 years ago, but at the same time, yeah.
That's what they
I
put on the French maid's outfit, and you have the duster, and you go around, dusting, dusting, dusting.
That's not really me. That's why when people will ask me questions about, like, like you were saying, the people, the outfits that you see on Instagram, that isn't
Hmm.
something that I feel comfortable wearing. But I've never been that type of person.
Hmm.
So if you feel comfortable wearing that, absolutely wear it.
Hmm.
If you want to wear something, if you, you see people out there in like cargo shorts and a t-shirt. It doesn't matter. You burn the
Yeah.
way you want to burn, and all bodies are burner bodies.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
doesn't matter. People, I think that's one of the things that is that things like places like Instagram, it's detrimental to people by just focusing on those
Mm.
the more Instagram model type folks, and not the people that actually go out there and have been burning for years. So I want new burners to feel comfortable wearing whatever they feel comfortable in.
Yeah. I wonder if there's like a
And
social media, just kind of like the attention economy kind of thing, where it's just like, oh, this is what's out there. This is what I see, but it's like, yeah, but like we are saying, like the reality, the everyday reality of just like you can wear cargo shorts, like it's
oh yeah.
fine. Like, yeah.
You can wear whatever you want. It's not a big. I wore a pickle costume last year, and I already have something random that I'm going to wear this year because I embrace uh the comedy of it, I guess. I like being more jovial and enjoy.
Hmm.
If I want to wear a dinosaur costume, I'm going to wear a dinosaur costume because it's not like I can do that around LA. I mean, I could,
Yeah.
but
And that's
I
when you're
might
off duty, right?
exactly. Although I did have girlfriends who they worked at one of the hospitals in downtown LA,
Uh-huh.
and for some reason they decided to bring those big blow up dinosaur costumes, and they were in the parking lot that's like this big three-story parking lot across from the hospital, and they decided to have like dinosaur races and things. So yeah, it does happen.
Well, that's, I mean, because we were talking before we got on the air about just like working in healthcare, and like I don't know. I find that like every patient, every situation is a little bit different, but I don't know. If like keeping things kind of like lighter, kind of like, well, because a lot of times, no matter what the situation, even just like an ordinary like kind of diagnostic thing, like people are kind of like they're a little nervous. It's like they're not sure. It's just like, oh, you're sampling this little mass. It's like, I don't know, is it cancer? Or is it not? And it's like these things tend to just be cysts. It's fine. Like. But like having a little like joviality, or being have like a little humor, or just being like personable human, making like a human connection, like it tends to kind of calm people down. I mean, within
Oh,
reason. There's some
100%.
people who are just like you just have to be very tender with them no matter what. But
Yes, yes. And as any medical provider that actually interviews patients, you know this. If you walk in and you are more relaxed, maybe that's not what that patient is looking for. They want
mm-hmm,
strictly professional. We change it up.
mm-hmm,
I prefer more relaxed. I like to be that way with my patients, especially before surgery, because I want them to be relaxed themselves, not to be as worried about the surgery
mm-hmm,
because and that I think that's a thing too with medical folks, we especially people who have been doing it as long as I have because I've it's been over 20 years now. So um you know it this is something that I do every day. This is their first time.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So, and it's happening to them, and it's referring to the patient. And so
mm-hmm,
I think that I that's one thing I've noticed with people that work ESD is they do enjoy the casualness of it, but at the same time, they're all still very professional.
Hmm.
And I haven't run across anyone who wasn't professional in our department
Yeah, probably
in
wouldn't
that
last very
respect. We
long. Yeah.
no, no. It's very people worry about that, but you have to remember that this is a very non-judgmental space.
Hmm.
And so you can come in like your friend with the bagpipe injury,
Hmm.
and it's fine. We're not going to judge you for it. Say that you tried something new for the first time and you didn't like it and you ended up with an injury or something happened. It's okay. It's okay. Come to
Hmm.
us. It's okay. We're not going to judge you for it because I probably have done something like that too. So I am
Yeah.
not going to judge you.
Well, I think with healthcare in general, I think there is kind of like the embarrassment kind of factor where you just kind of like,
Hmm.
oh, it's like, no, you dude, you should really go to the hospital and get they taken care of. Like, yeah, but they're gonna ask me questions, like how did I get that up my butt? Like, or whatever.
Actually, I think
Like,
I think burners are better. I think ESD burners are better at that than even the default world medical
mm-hmm,
because, like I said, we don't dwell on it. We don't continue to talk about it. We'd just be like, oh, was that patient discharged? Yeah, okay,
mm-hmm,
cool. You move on to the next one. That's it. There isn't a whole lot of lingering discussion
yeah.
about people. We
I
just want you
imagine,
all to be healthy, happy, get back out there and enjoy your burn. That's what it's all
yeah.
about.
And I imagine like the patients that you see too, it's just probably a different kind of attitude versus like like out in the default world going to get some like the same injury, like I'm sure at Burning Man be like, oh yeah, no, it's just Burning Man, they'll understand. Whereas like your local neighborhood hospital, they'd be like, what the hell did you do?
Yeah.
you know like yeah.
Our exposure, like you were saying, as we were talking about people coming from all over the world, so our exposure to things. And the nice thing about ESD is
Mm-hmm.
that I have worked with, ophthalmologists, pulmonologists, people with these amazing different backgrounds that help so much out there. Because, we got playa eyes, playa throat, playa lung, all of these things where the dust affects all these different areas. And then you have these medical professionals that come out there and that is their area of study, and then they're actually able to help the patients better, and that is a nice thing too. So we'll have like an orthopedic surgeon, and we'll have
Oh wow.
an ER nurse. ER nurses are the best. You and ICU nurses, I love you guys so much because you can like
Yeah.
shoot an IV across the room and get it in a dehydrated vein. Love you guys.
Yeah. But I mean,
So
is it like
this
it's not exactly like a full service hospital. Like it's one of the questions I had was, my department where I work is pathology. I was like, you probably don't have a lot of need for pathology on the playa, right? I mean,
no, but if you wanted to come work, if you wanted to do it, you could always work as a greeter.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
we love our greeters too. So I had a girlfriend that worked with me. She's a nurse and she was already had, I think, 7 years of experience or something.
mm-hmm.
Her fiance was a second year resident. So because he hadn't had the experience of an attending yet, he
Oh,
couldn't actually be a clinician. But so he worked as a
okay.
greeter so that they could work the shifts together and they had a great time. So being a greeter is I love our greeters. Our greeters are wonderful people. And it's the same with our folks that come in from ESD. Everybody works, they come back year after year after
Mm-hmm,
year because they love it. I haven't really we don't have the one-off people unless they just come in, they try it, and then they don't come back to Burning Man. I feel like
mm-hmm,
most people come back, and that's I'm excited. So like some of us have reached out to each other. We know the shifts that we're working. On Friday, I'm working with one of my friends that I haven't seen since she wasn't there last
mm-hmm.
year. So I am super excited that we're actually working together on Friday,
Huh.
our shift on Friday. So it's just nice to see the same people, the faces coming back again and again. And the nice thing is, because you're a burner, you've been doing this for a heck of a lot longer than me. Trying to find someone on the playa is like sometimes just absolutely impossible. I've had friends that, they're like, yo, come find me. Yeah, you're not going to be found. For the most part, you
Yeah.
probably are not going to find that
Yeah.
friend. But working a shift together, we will see each other. We
Yeah.
know where
Yeah.
that person is, so it's great.
So does ESD like have an overstaffing problem? I mean,
No.
or you guys like all like every year like looking for people? It's like, yeah, we know we need more like, you know, medical professionals, or are you saying it's like, is there always just kind of like a bubbling up crop of people like, oh, I want to come work with you guys?
I mean, you have the chiefs and the higher ups would be able to answer this a lot more than
Mm-hmm.
I would.
But there's no like staffing
They do.
shortage or anything. Yeah.
I'm sure that there are staffing
Mm-hmm.
shortages to a certain extent, because you never know if someone is not going to be able to make it last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Because things in life
Mm.
crop up, right? And then you
Yeah.
just can't go. You're sick, or
Mm-hmm.
something about your child or whatever. And so now those three shifts are unstaffed. And so they always are looking for good, qualified people to staff. And that's the thing too, because they have these parameters that they have to staff within. So it's like my friend's fiance.
Mm-hmm.
Could he, as a second year resident, come in and do ESD? Yes, but it's not. So yeah, they do everything under the state of Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends on what the state of Nevada will allow.
So I was just thinking about like, oh, come and like work at Rampart, work at do like greeters. Like, nah, I don't know about greeter, but like, do you have like a joke like billing department?
Absolutely.
It's like take a number, sit down. You're gonna be here for a long time, and then have like this big thing. It's like, okay, list your assets. Like, what? You're like, how much is this gonna cost me? You know, like, because I imagine it's like there is no billing department. There's no
There's
billing
no billing
codes. Like,
department. I
yeah, like,
think I think people who have been there before would probably find that humorous, and then people who it was their first time, because we have so many people it's their first time coming in there, right?
like, oh my
They
god.
probably, "What? But Jen said it was free."
Yeah, it's kind of like the Brady Man complaint department, you know, it'd just be like this empty desk out the middle of the playa. It's like, what are they getting here? Like, I got some complaints, you know, like it's like, yeah, I'm just not
The
sure people.
complaint department, yeah.
Yeah, but the Rampart billing department. Like, oh
Hmm.
yeah. It's like we have this big stack of forms. You got to fill them all out. Like, what? Oh, we run
Actually,
all.
have they ever speaking of a complaint department, has anyone ever made that into an art piece?
I've heard of various different people doing things like that,
Yeah.
just like at their camp, whatever. And I remember one year just thinking, just getting some old desk and just like a little placard on it saying complaints department and
Hmm.
the little sign with the clock like we'll be back at you know, and then
Yeah.
just leaving it out on the playa and people just being like, you know, I've been waiting here.
No, but I mean, it would be like, I think that if some artist out there, you thought about it, if you collected all of those, you have a
Hmm.
complaint box with a piece of paper and a pencil, and you collect them all, and then you
Ah,
burn the art at
yeah.
the end. I mean, I think that's an amazing little art piece for someone.
Yeah, or you could even have like a kind of ceremony at the end where it's like, oh, it's like okay, and you know, gather around, crowd, you know, and you have like your
Uh-huh.
bullhorn. It's like we've collected the complaints, this year's complaints. Let us read them. Number one, you know, and then you start like reading them off. That would be
And
hilarious. And then
that actually, it would be interesting to
yeah,
hear
and then
what
it's
some people
then
are complaining
straight
about.
into the fire. Okay, that one's
Yeah.
dealt with.
Yeah. It's gonna be like there was too much dust. You know?
Yeah, I didn't have an
I thought you
RV.
guys were going to feed me. Yeah.
Yeah. I woke up in Reno. Like,
Exactly. You need to give me a ride back. Call the medical people at Burning Man and have them give me a ride back to Playa.
but it was
I guess
one of the principles. It's like radical, like responsibility, or you know,
reliance,
or
yeah, radical
reliance.
reliance.
Yeah, it's like
Radical
remember that.
self-reliance. I swear. So that is the reason why I started this channel, was after the 2022
Yeah.
burn, and we came back from COVID. Um, and I just, that I left that burn saying that I was never coming back, that I was never ever going to do this again. I am done, sitting in that 12-hour line trying to leave. And I was just like, I'm done. And it was the hottest year on record. It was 103 degrees one day. And we saw it. It was the amount of dehydration. And then, of course, you had all of the playa dust issues because of the winds that year and the dust. It was just incredible. Um, just and people were just so unprepared.
Hmm.
The newbies were so unprepared that the even veteran burners came back. They're like, "Oh yeah, I forgot all that stuff in the storage shed," and you're like, "Oh my God." Um,
Well, don't you like prepare for the last year? Because I remember like one
yeah,
year
that's
we
I guess.
went, it was like the year before was super hot, and then the next year we're just like I'm just bringing like just shorts and no t-shirt
Uh,
and nothing, and then
yeah,
it was like 40 degrees at noon. It was
yeah,
that cold, and
yeah,
we're like, what
absolutely.
happened? It's not supposed to be cold.
Hmm.
Like, well, also like
Yeah,
people, there's like I said, they're seeing stuff in social media, and they're just like, oh, it's this big party, and I'll be able to party, like the sunrise sets, and, like a robot heart, and I'm just gonna be
yeah,
having fun, and there's just gonna be these like large banquets, and like
yeah.
it's like no, no,
It is a party. It's the best party in the world. It really is. It's the
yeah,
best party in the world because of all the ways that it is a party, and it's because of the people coming together, and it's because of the art and the mutant vehicles,
mm-hmm,
and it that makes it isn't EDC, it isn't Coachella, it isn't so I think that's the reason why a lot of people come and they're not fully prepared.
mm-hmm,
And so those are the things that I would absolutely say
yeah,
with this, because 2022 was a year too where we saw people that just forgot their meds or just decided that they weren't going to take them for a week. And you're just like, oh my gosh. And you had so many people with still COVID. And we had we had a few camps at the same time. They all had food poisoning. So everyone's already dehydrated because it's so hot. And now you have
yep,
food poisoning. And yeah, it was just so I mean, if I could say anything to burners coming out, and this would be more for the new burners than the veteran
mm-hmm,
burners, but please make sure that you bring more food and water than you actually think you need. Make sure you bring your electrolytes. Make sure that you have your water. And I think
mm-hmm,
2022 was also the year the ice trucks couldn't come on the playa because of the dust. So the people who are drinking the ice melt,
that was your
because I
source of
remember
water.
that that was their source of water, which is a wonderful way to get around that, I think. I mean, that's but drinking, you could drink the melt, right? So
Yeah,
people are drinking the melt. I mean, if you're
I
coming
wouldn't
from
plan on going. I'm gonna be there for 9 days, and I'm bringing 2 gallons of water. You're like, what? Like that crazy? Or are
I
they
don't
just
know,
like, well,
there's
no, I take showers every day, like three, and then we go through this enormous amount of water. I mean, like, could be that too, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know what their situation is, but
uh,
just we just saw so many cases of dehydration that year, and I think it's just people just weren't uh they just didn't bring
yeah,
the right amount of supplies. And that goes back to that radical self-reliance.
mm-hmm,
Also food. If you have any type of food restriction at all, make sure you bring that food with you. If you have to eat gluten-free, make sure you please bring out
yeah,
gluten-free food. You can't rely on, XYZ camp to bring certain things for you, even though they might be a gluten-free camp.
mm-hmm,
You never know what might happen that day. And now you, in addition to all those other campers, are going without meals. So
mm-hmm,
you always have to bring 2023 when I was in the station when the rain happened and we couldn't
mm-hmm.
leave and there was no food for the staff because they'll give us a meal during our shifts,
Oh,
right? One of my clinicians was vegan and we didn't have anything. And because they didn't bring anything with them, they didn't have anything to eat. And it was a situation,
oh,
of course, because of the rain and the mud. Um,
commissary doesn't
you know,
deliver.
well, not during that. Our poor EMTs were on foot that year. They're walking around on foot to
Wow,
calls. Yeah.
wow.
Those amazing people out
Did you
there
guys have
still going
those
on calls.
the mules, like the little four?
The QRVs?
Yeah,
Yeah, they have them, but
yeah,
you
not in the mud,
still,
right?
no, not in the mud like that. No,
Yeah.
so when it happened again this last year, thankfully it wasn't the same as 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah.
Wow. So one of my questions, yeah, was the question of like just malnourishment, because like, I mean, I don't know. I have this sort of joke, with people that I don't know. For many years, going to Brain Man, like we'd make a list of all the food we want, and then you'd go out and we'd shop, and we'd go to Costco or whatever,
Mhm.
and then it's like you're like, oh, but then there's this package of Oreos, and oh, and then you want to bring in so many things, and then like at the end of the
Yeah.
week, you're like, we still have like most of this stuff, and then we're like, the joke is that it's like, what if you only brought the amount of food that you actually ingested? And like people think you're insane. You know,
Oh yeah.
like you're just
Oh
like
yeah.
that's like one sandwich a day, and like one can of soda water. It's like that ought
Yeah.
to do it, right? Like,
Hmm.
but I mean, because I mean, there's this what I call foraging. It's like you can like wander around and like, oh look, they have hamburgers over there. It's like
Uh-huh.
it's like you can get stuff like all over the place, but and then there's a whole like playa provides thing, but it's like yeah, you can't have like 60,000 people relying upon the other
No.
ghost 60,000 people. It's like we're just not
No.
bringing nothing. But like, so how
No.
many people show up at Rampart just like malnourished or like, or does he not really see that?
I mean, it's not really malnourishment. I mean, it is, but it's more, I need people to make sure that they get in the appropriate amount of calories. And if you just have to
Mm-hmm.
bring bars with you,
Mm-hmm.
bring bars. So you make sure that you're out there because the amount of energy that you're expending, you want to be able to replace that.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I see the most is the dehydration, or that I
Mm.
would say, I mean, you might get a different answer from someone else, but dehydration is a huge factor out there, and you need to drink water, and you need to do it with electrolytes, and make sure that there are different types of companies out there that will have the electrolytes that will be good for you. Some have low sodium, some have no sugar, some have that. So depending on
Oh,
what
yeah.
you need, yeah, your medical needs, you can find one that works for you. Now, of course, there have been studies as to having sugar in your electrolytes, your gut absorbs it faster. So if you want to feel
Hmm.
better, but if you're diabetic, don't take the one with the sugar unless maybe your blood sugars are low. It's all dependent on the person's
Yeah.
health.
Well, also, like you're saying, it depends on the person. So, like, I mean, there's young people, there's old people. There's some
Hmm.
people that are like for me, I live in Hawaii, and so it's like I'm used to like kind of sea level,
Hmm.
pretty humid.
Hmm.
Going to like was it 5,000 foot elevation? Alkaline
Yeah.
like desert, and it takes like a good 2 or 3 days of just acclimating,
Yeah.
and I know people like they hit the playa and it's pretty immediate and they're just like, I'm a Brady man. Woo, let's party, party, party. Where's that bottle of
Yeah.
tequila? Glug, 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 glug.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, no, to take a couple of days, look, adjust your body. It's like, what do you mean?
Hmm.
I'm here for fun, like
Yeah.
I'll go to Rampart later, It's like, no.
I mean, granted, I've had my all night benders there too. So, you just keep going and going and going. Um, I'm glad I didn't do this in my 20s. I'll say that. I'm glad I didn't do it in my 20s because I absolutely would have been hooked up to IVs and everything
Woke up in
in
Reno.
Rampart. Oh my Lord. Probably would have woken up in Reno. Absolutely. In my
That's like
20s,
my
I was
nightmare. Just blinking your eyes are like, why is it so bright?
yeah.
Like, what am I wearing? What is this smock? Like, can you tell us your name, sir? It's like, well, I don't have my ID. You have nothing. And be like, like,
Yeah.
how do you even get in contact with anybody? It's like, I know, even if you remember someone's like phone number, which probably nobody does anymore, like, it's like, oh yeah, call my brother, like on the playa. It's like, he's not gonna pick up.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
There is there's that emergency line though, right? There's the email that you could, if you need to get in contact with someone, doesn't mean they're going to be able to find the person through the org,
Mm-hmm.
but at least you can actually try to get a message out through, I don't know what it is. I would have to look it up, but there is an email address that if you're trying to get a hold of someone, if it's an emergency
Mm-hmm.
and you can't reach them. But it's kind of like the post office, right? I don't know how they're delivering all the mail on the playa.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's meant for like regular deliveries. I think it's if it was a special delivery or something, maybe. Like,
N-
yeah.
Do you mean
Like
for,
postal
oh, the
delivery.
post office? Oh, the
Yeah.
post office. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they're making deliveries of like notes to each other
Oh,
and
there's on playa. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I thought your took was just like, oh, I only want to bring so much stuff, and I'll have the rest of it just shipped there.
Oh,
Like a
absolutely not. No.
yeah.
Absolutely. Could you imagine the Amazon truck shows up? Oh God,
Oh
no.
God.
Some people would use that. Some
Got a
people would
delivery
use it.
from
Oh,
Timu. Yeah.
absolutely. Oh God.
It's leaking all over
Yeah.
the playa. Like, yeah. So, what advice would you have? What would be kind of like the top couple of things that you tell people? It's like, okay, like you're going to Burning Man. Like, this is my experience as a nurse. It's like things that you either like look out for or to prepare for that keep you out of trouble medically.
Burning Man organization has a survival guide. I think more people need to read that and reread it and also read it again because it is packed with information. Other than that, there are the forums. There's Reddit. There is Facebook, and there
Mm-hmm.
is the Burners Veterans and Newbies No Snark. I think that's a really, really good place for people to start.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good information out there. You could always ask me for information. Um, you can ask, there are other creators out there who actually are willing to either give you the information or find it for you.
Mm-hmm.
There are wonderful sources, and I think that what my newbies, we love our newbies, right? We love our
Mm-hmm.
Bergens. I really think that you all need to come out without any expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No expectations, but to make sure that you have everything that you need because of the radical self-reliance. I want to make sure that you have any medication you need, your food, your water, your shelter, basic things that you would need for survival because out there at Burning Man, sometimes it really is about survival.
Yeah.
We're in an environment that we are not meant to be in, really.
Well,
So
yeah.
that's the way I look at it because of the way that the
It's
weather
almost like being on
changes so
the
often.
moon. Like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I just want to make sure that you're prepared for everything. It could start raining. I mean, it sprinkles every
Yeah.
year, but to actually have these big rains that we have seen in 23 and 25, these big wind dust storms that we've seen in 22 and 25. You need to
Mm-hmm.
kind of be prepared for everything and make sure that your shelter is staked down, that you're going to be safe, and make sure that you have a good support group, whether you are at a theme camp or an open
Yeah.
camp. Make sure that you make some friends and know the people that you are around.
Because the
Um,
support can make up for just about any
support,
deficiency, right? Yeah.
absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
I guess one other thing what I would say is that if you are arguing with your significant other or
Mm-hmm.
someone else in the camp, take that away. Don't ruin someone else's burn by having that, by dragging other people into whatever is happening with you.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is not in relation to if you're having some sort of mental health,
Mm-hmm.
crisis or issue and you need help, then of course, please definitely get help because there's so many places to get that sort of help
Mm-hmm.
at Burning Man, which is wonderful. I'm talking about if you're just having arguments with your person to actually take that away and try not to involve everyone else in that. Resolve that outside uh, of your campsite or your group.
Yeah. Yeah. I have another interview with talking with Ranger Crow, and we were talking about the whole like Bureau of Erotic Discourse and consent and everything.
Hmm.
And I was like, I kind of see like the two of you guys working together. And he was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, if you can get like like the erotic discourse and the consent stuff, like if you can kind of inculcate that amongst the community, that makes the job of the rangers easier." Right.
Hmm.
It's like, yeah, like I didn't really look at it that way, so it's like I imagine for like ESD it's the same thing where it's just kind of like if you guys can prepare and take care of yourself, it's like you don't need to see us like quite as much. And like I said, community,
But
take
not
care
not
of
as
other
much as
people. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
for sure. Make sure you have your goggles to protect your eyes. Make sure you have a mask to protect your mouth and throat. Make sure that you are
Yeah.
protecting yourself from the sun by reapplying your sunblock. There are just so many things. And that's why I think that the survival guide is so
Yeah.
important and people just don't bother to read it. And
And another thing I
um,
was thinking about, like, it's like have some sort of clue about your medical condition before you go, right? I mean, I think for the vast majority of people, it's like, what? I'm fine. I'm healthy. I'm not saying it's like, oh, go see a doctor before you go there. I mean, it's not exactly. It's like, oh, I'm going to, to the jungle in Africa and I need to get like a malaria shot or something, but you are going to like an extreme environment. And
mhm.
just, was it this past year? Like someone didn't realize they were pregnant and gave birth on the playa. I mean, and they didn't know, but I mean, like, and it's funny because so many people are like, oh, that's so beautiful, birth on the playa. I'm like, oh no, no, that's not at all where you ever would want to give birth. Like, don't have these crazy illusions. Like,
I'm
no.
just glad that the mother and baby, everyone was okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
And
were
then,
transported off the playa. So there you
yeah,
go. There's
yeah.
there's there's a valid
There was a
transport right
happy
there.
ending. Like, yeah.
Hmm.
And then like, thinking, okay, well, you have the birth, but then there's like the death. There's always been deaths at Burning Man's, and some people, there's been suicides, whatever, accidents, whatever. But and I know like Nevada's not a medical assistance in dying state, but I'm just imagining because I know that there's some people like some older burners who like just imagine like that, like people have this fantasy about giving birth at Burning Man. Like I imagine there's probably more than one person who would just like it's like, oh, if I had a choice, and it's like, where would you like to pass? I'm just like, I want to do it at Burning Man. I mean, I don't think that's ever kind of come up, people like, oh, are you gonna plan on doing that? It's like, what about everybody else who's got to take care of everything? Like it's not a thing, right?
I'm not that I'm aware of. I've never heard of anything like
Hopefully, I'm
that.
not
And
giving anybody
I
any
hope,
ideas. Like, yeah,
yeah, I was gonna say, I hope that it doesn't, that isn't something that we see out there.
yeah. All right, all right. Well, let's get to our last question. So,
Sure.
what has been the Burning Man's impact on your life?
Oh, good
Because you said
question.
because you came to Burning Man a little later, right?
I did. I did. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I'm able to appreciate it more
Mm-hmm.
at this age. Um, you know, I the impact on my life is, well, definitely working ESD. It's a different type of medicine than I practice at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of nice to go back to that clinic emergency type of medicine. And so I really, really enjoy it. It keeps those skills
Mm-hmm.
fresh. And I have been able to bring some of those skills in with me to the default world. I think also the non-judgmental aspect of Burning Man has also, not that I ever really was much anyway, but I think that it also helps because you have this exposure to so many different people from different areas and cultures. And
Mm-hmm.
um, anytime that you can open your eyes to differences, that type of exposure makes you a better person.
Oh yeah.
And so I think that that has definitely been something that's been really good as well. You know, those 10 principles, uh, absolutely bringing those in and trying to apply it in the default world life as well. I even have the little symbol for the radical self-reliance. I have that tattoo because I want to be able to do things as much as I can myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because there will be one day that I won't be able to. So at this age, I'm doing the things that I can,
Mm-hmm.
um, as much as I can myself, learning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that really, helps to solidify that,
Yeah.
making sure that you are prepared. I'm not saying that I'm always 100% prepared for whatever happens out on the playa or in the default world,
Well, you
right? Because
can't
there are things that
anticipate
happen you
everything.
can't.
Yeah.
But it definitely has made me more of a prepared person. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm very thankful for the relationships that I've met out there,
Mm-hmm.
friendships. And I get so excited when I get to see these folks again, working with them, playing with them on the
Is it
playa.
a similar
It's
crew at
wonderful.
Rampart every year or at ESD?
Yes, I do see some
Yeah.
of them, but because there are so many of us,
Uh-huh.
one of my friends, one of my burner friends, I will only see her for about an hour on one shift. So,
Oh.
yeah, so I know it's kind of crazy because of the way that they sort of overlap, and we'll pick our shifts of what we need. Like I'm not staying the whole time this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we will pick the shifts that we need, and then we get super excited to see who's on shift with us.
Is there like a lot of turnover at ESD or is it pretty much like fairly stable? Like people coming back year after year?
I would say that it's mostly stable. People
Yeah.
love doing ESD. Like I said, it's a different type of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
You have someone who is um, nurses and doctors and PAs that might work in a clinic and then all of a sudden they're coming over here,
Yeah.
or they're working in the hospital and say that they work in a more serious area such as like oncology, and then they come over here and you have this lighter type of medicine, and it's just it's a wonderful experience. I love my burner patients, and I am so thankful that the organization has something like this where I can
Yeah.
participate in another way, use the skills that I have to actually help people in this respect.
I mean,
I think that if
imagine.
I just had to go out as a burner, even if I just went out as a burner, I think I would still pick up at least one shift at ESD,
Mm-hmm.
just because I love what I do out there.
Would you feel comfortable or they would be like, okay, this year I'm just gonna go to Burning Man. I'm not gonna volunteer at all. Like, would you kind of get like the FOMO or whatever for ESD? You know,
I would. I probably,
just
honestly, if
stop
I
by.
decided to go,
Here I am.
I don't see this happening. But,
Uh,
well, I stop by stations too,
uh,
anyway, because sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, here's station 3. Who's working today?" And then I'll be like, "Hey, what's up?" You do see someone that you know.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes I will just stop off at random. When you're riding through with your crew,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get to God knows where you're going at this point, exploring, or
Yeah.
you have
Where do
a
you camp at Burning
destination.
Man? Or is there like a ESD camp or you
There
camp?
are no, there are a couple of ESD camps.
Uh,
But I have I change things up.
yeah, yeah. Just imagine it's not like everyone's walking around in lab coats and you're like, doctor, doctor, doctor.
No, you see the yellow and red t-shirts all the time. And then actually Rampart has Fern Camp, and they have their own camp as well.
Fern camp.
Fern, yeah.
They have a lot of ferns, or is that an
Yeah,
acronym
they
for
do.
something?
There's plants everywhere.
Oh,
No, it's no, it's just called Fern Camp.
that's what would the F be? Something emergency response network. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Yeah, and let's see. Okay, do you have any links, anything you want me to put in the show notes, or you said you have like your Instagram, like TikTok channels, things like that, or
Yeah, and I have more information on my website as well. I recently uh I recently changed the oh, what's it called? The packing list. So all of those links that were in there before,
mm-hmm.
I took all those out. So I just wanted it to make something that people could print and check off the boxes as they have what they need.
Ah,
And of course, so yeah, so I changed all the whole look of where before it was all these links, and I just like, then people get sucked into wherever a website they're at. And so I took all those off. If they want to see, there's some at the bottom, but
mm-hmm.
otherwise,
So
just
what's your website? What's the URL?
burnernurse.com.
Oh, burnernurse.com. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have everything up there, and then I've also got articles, things that you can read about things to pack for Burning Man, and how some of those even cross over from some of the other festivals, like the camping festivals like Coachella.
Mm-hmm.
How some of those things cross over, where you can use it for both if you do both, or lightning in a bottle, some of these.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because a lot of it's probably not specific to just going to the Black Rock Desert, right? I mean, it's could be like any kind of multi-day festival or thing event. I mean,
yeah.
it does, yeah.
Yeah. We just need to well, securing our gear is,
Hmm.
although Coachella has been through it the past couple of years as well with their dust storms. Oh yeah, they had their can because they
Oh,
don't secure their canopies the way that we do.
oh, huh.
No, they just use those tiny little metal, and so those canopies they just take off like an umbrella, poof, just takes to the
Yeah.
sky. They don't even buy the vented. This is what I've seen. All the ones that have taken off are not vented at the top, so it just literally just takes off. And
Oh,
oh
hmm.
yeah, you should take a look at some of the videos from this
Yeah.
Coachella
Yeah,
this
yeah.
year. My God, that did some serious damage. Kind
Wow.
of looked
Well, what kind
didn't
of
look
structure do Rampart and ESD like have? I mean,
For us,
yeah,
we
yeah.
have well, ESD is like a solid um wooden shack
Oh,
almost. So it's
okay.
like, yeah, they put it, and then there also are the big um containers, the steel containers, like the shipping containers,
Uh,
and we have supplies, and one of them is like the IV station, and there's another one at the beginning when everybody's still building, and they have occupational therapists out there, right? So
mm-hmm,
they're helping to take care of everybody who's doing the build. Oh yeah, this is
mm-hmm.
it. Just there are just layers upon layers upon layers of all the people out there
Huh.
volunteering. So I just love anybody who volunteers out there and gives back in any way. DPW, Gate, all of you guys, wonderful, wonderful crew.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, one last thing I was just thinking about, 'cause you're talking about like coming back to your regular world, in your job and like helping you to deal with like your patients and yeah, like we're saying that, like often you'll see people like, and it's the worst day of their life. But I mean,
Hmm.
and also people from like different backgrounds, different cultures,
Hmm.
or whatever. It's like you don't look like me, or you have a different life. But like, I think it's something that Burning Man kind of helps you is like kind of crossing those boundaries and making connections with people, and like, and then your line of work, like someone's coming to you in distress, and you're just like you want to help put them like at ease, and part
Hmm.
of that is kind of crossing this barrier. It's just like, no, no, no. It's like I'm here to help you. Right.
Hmm.
And I think that's definitely something that Burning Man, it's like kind of treats people where it's just like, no, no, you can talk to the stranger. You can like make a
Hmm.
connection with people, and that will kind of like,
Absolutely.
bring their blood pressure down. Like, oh, I'm safe.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah,
You spend the
yeah.
time with your patients. You spend the time with sometimes at Burning
Hmm.
Man, you're out in the middle of the playa. I've had conversations with people. I've had a 2 hour burner friend where you just spend that amount of time with them and then you never see them again. You might not even know their name.
Hmm.
And that's just part of the beauty of Burning Man.
Hmm.
You both came together for the time that you needed, and then that's it. Um,
And then you'll see them next
and
year for like 1 hour and you'd be like, I can't even remember their name, but we're like best friends.
I actually a lot of these I've never seen them again. Some of those conversations. I was thinking about that because I knew I was going to be talking to you. I thought about this conversation that I had with a doctor. The wet spot, right? Do you know the wet spot?
Wet
That's
spot.
where
Oh.
that's where all the volunteers, that's the showers for the volunteers.
Oh, I've heard of
So
such
if
thing.
you if
Yes, yeah,
you
yeah.
yeah, okay, so it's called the wet spot.
Uh,
So I was there and I was talking to a doctor, and the dust had kicked up. And this was in 22 as well. So we couldn't leave. So we just sat there and had a conversation for like an hour. Um, and we're both wearing masks and goggles. I have no idea what this person looks like. If I ever run into them again, I don't know their name. We just had this wonderful conversation, hunkering down for the dust to get to dissipate, and so that we could actually ride back to our camps.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no idea, but we had a wonderful time
Yeah.
for that hour. You just kind of, I think that in that burner way, you just kind of ride through it.
Yeah.
People who have been doing this for a long time, and especially people who have been like you have been going
Hmm.
for a lot longer than me, you just kind of you just accept where you're at right now, and you either just kind of hunker down or you figure out a way to get out of that.
Hmm.
And you don't really see the veteran burners They
R-
don't panic. If I saw a
Running in
veteran
a
burner
circle.
panic,
Be like,
if I see,
ah,
yeah, if I see a veteran burner panic, then I will panic. If
everybody
I don't
run.
see them, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
If I saw them being stressed out and panicking, then I probably would panic myself. But you don't see that. You just kind of look at that. So I would be for the newbies. If you look at the people who have been out there more than 5 times, who have been through, especially within the last, what, 5 years, going through all the
Mm-hmm.
weather, if they're not stressed out, just chill. Just go with it. It's all good. It's all
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, actually gone a little longer than we normally do,
Yeah.
but thank you so much. This has been a wonderful interview.
Thank you. It was really nice meeting you. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this show, please subscribe, rate, and review it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. The more reviews the show has, the more likely it will even appear in search results. Also, please tell a friend and share this show with anyone that you think might like it. Word of mouth reaches quite far, especially in the Burning Man community. If you would like to contact us, please send an email to shadowofthemanpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow Shadow of the Man on social media at Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, X, and YouTube. The links for all of these are available at shadowoftheman.com. Feel free to use any of these social media accounts to provide any feedback you might have. Your thoughts on the show are greatly appreciated. Thank you, and see you soon for a new episode of The Shadow of the Man.
Thank you for listening to this latest show. We have to make another one, so gotta go. Don't worry, for next month we already have one in the can. Very soon you'll be listening to a new Shadow of the Man.